Hey guys, welcome back. We are just doing part 2 of the mess of Love is Blind season 6. Actually, you know what? Rewind. Lib season 6. Sorry, y'all. We had to get the acronyms in there. For those of you that don't already know, this is the Soul Wash podcast. I'm your girl Key.
I'm your girl Treasure.
All right, y'all. As you heard me say, the mess. All right. But the one thing that is good about this is that your girl's prediction was right. And only Johnny and Amy got married. And like I said, I did say only other couple that I could see could have got married was Clay and AD, but no. Treasure was also right because she said the exact same thing too. So we've watched so many seasons of Liv that we know how these go.
We know the signs of what's gonna happen, so like we don't even need to pretend. We can just watch after the honeymoon. Like right after the honeymoon's done, and then just watch the end, and we can basically predict. We should do that next season.
We literally should just do that next season and not watch, and then just have a video decided to see how right we actually were. We're doing that next, y'all. But just to kind of give y'all a little bit of a recap here. So, where we kind of end off is that we know that Chelsea, Jimmy, after their last dinner, they don't end up going to the altar. They're not even going to go to the altar because Jimmy tells Chelsea, "I'm not saying yes." And to be quite honest, Trez, you probably agree with me on this, I'm not surprised. Because it definitely does seem that, yes, there was love there, but very, very toxic with their fights. And unfortunately for Chelsea, she does seem to kind of be the type, from what we're seeing on screen, to kind of want to show that she's winning an argument. But we all know, guys, if you go into a fight trying to win an argument, a marriage, or in this case, relationship, loses, which is exactly what happened here. And, it's tough because I know that when you're coming from a place of hurt and when you're arguing, sometimes you say things that you don't mean. The unfortunate thing is they have a long-lasting burn, and seems to have what happened between her and Jimmy, because there was a lot of this stuff going back and forth about, how she kept telling him that I don't think you love me, and he's like, wait, what are you talking about? Like, that stuff, which I think
was really insecure,
yeah.
And maybe Jimmy was too. We just don't know. That's what they've said and stated later. But it was like she was insecure, and she was just her own worst enemy, honestly.
Yeah. And at least she takes, but the thing I love about Chelsea, she actually took responsibility for her actions and like owned up to how she was being portrayed on screen, and that it wasn't herself, as she basically claims to be. So that's a good thing that we can say. Unfortunately for them, did not make it even to the wedding part of the preparation part.
Thank God.
Which is kind of, to me, I think is kind of unfair, which is exactly what I'm going to get into later on with this whole thing. I swear in their clause when they sign up for the show, they are supposed to be going up to actually getting them married and saying no at the altar. There shouldn't be any of this that they don't make it there.
Like they cut it quick?
Yeah, like they cut it before we get there. I don't think that should be a thing, and they need to take that out because, like...
You think they have to take it out? I don't think so. No, I wouldn't want to watch them fake it longer just so that they can go to the altar. I think that, I've seen and like what are rumors is that if you make it to the altar and you say no, you get more money. No, that's what I've heard rumor-wise, but obviously, like, there's no clarification on that. Yeah. But I just think that if you're like, I'm done, and I think that's even better if this is true, because then it's like, okay, they're truly like they want to find love, whatever, and they know at this point in time that it's like not gonna work. So I'm just gonna cut it because I don't want to waste anyone's time, and I don't want to like have her buy the wedding dress and like have her, you know what I mean? Like have her do all these things and have family fly in and everything like that. And then it's like, I know I'm saying no right now. I wouldn't want that to happen.
Right. So not that specific part. So like what I'm trying to say, like in reference to is like Mark and Jessica season 1. Like we knew that was not going to work, but they
didn't know.
Oh,
or like she didn't know. Like we know that she knew like as soon as she saw him like on the trip, and like we knew then because it was like, hey girl, just like let him know, like cut it. But I think that she was genuinely trying. Like I think that she kept trying just because she wanted to stay on maybe airtime. I don't know. I don't ask me about Messica. I can't get into that. But I don't think that's the same thing here.
Okay. All right. Well, anyways. Moving on, so that was our only 3, so then now we come to the day of the wedding. Let's just talk about Johnny and Amy just real quick, because it's very short. We knew that they were going to say yes from the beginning. It was very sweet. It was very cute. Their families seemed to mesh really, really well together, and it was great. This is like another successful marriage from what we can see for Love is Blind. All right? Sorry, Johnny and Amy. It's not that y'all are boring. We don't like you. It's just there's not that much drama with y'all. Y'all smooth sailed the whole way through. pretty much. So like let's get to Clay and AD, because that one's a little bit spicy. Only because although we kind of knew it was gonna happen, I mean, I was hopeful that he would have, become man enough to actually be able to say that he's ready to be a husband. But good on his part to say, I'm not going to do something that I'm not ready for just because of XYZ. So I give him credit for that. It just sucks for AD because I know in her heart of hearts, she was actually like, okay, like, I'm getting married today. Like, this is my day. And she just seemed like she was totally caught off guard that he was going to say no. Like, and it sucks for her because I know that Clay actually like literally gave her a very nice, how do you say, like when he was speaking at the altar, gave her all the credit for everything. And it's like made you think that he was going to say yes at the point of that, and gave her all the credit for her trying to make him a better man and like all this stuff like that. So it made it seem like, okay, AD was putting in all this work to try to make him become this man and like build him up and all that stuff and be like his ride or die and be like the one, like literally be that kind of guy where you say that your woman makes you a better man type thing, which I believe he said that when it happened, but it just wasn't enough to make him get down the altar. And ultimately he ended up saying no, and she looked kind of like a fool, and that's unfortunate. Clay's mom was actually pretty heartbroken by this because, she was like, she thought they were going to get married. Although there is a part in this whole part whenever their parents actually have a conversation and they say that, the mom tells his father that the reason why he feels that way is because of what happened with his childhood in the past and his dad and all that stuff, contributing to this whole entire factor. So as we can say that, we'll end that off. Now let's talk about the reunion. All right, because to be quite honest with you, to me, I love that the one thing I'm going to say about this is I love that this reunion, they brought back some of the couples from previous seasons. And I knew right from the beginning them bringing those couples back was to prove a point. And I thought that point was heard. And I'm hoping that for future seasons, we are going to get back to the core of Love is Blind, and we are not going to be getting people coming on the show just for fame and notoriety and just Instagram followers and whatever, yada, yada, yada. Because it was really getting out of hand. And I know you, Tresh, agree 100% with this, right?
I mean, I do think that as people are coming on and they're younger, they're losing the sincerity of what Love is Blind was trying to do. And so, I mean, there are like talk about like them having more of like an age restriction, but I don't think that that's what needs to happen. I think that they need to do better background checks because like the stuff that was aired out about Jeremy and about what's his name, Trevor was just crazy. Like, who did these background checks? You need to be fired because how are y'all missing all of this stuff with somebody? Like, that is crazy because I mean, it is really like, what if Chelsea chose Trevor?
Yeah.
Like, what, like, I mean, I don't care about Sarah Ann personally, so, like, she's a new Messica, but what if, I mean, a lot of people don't like Laura and it's controversial, sure, I get it, whatever. I happen to like Laura, I don't like Laura with Jeremy.
Yeah.
But what if Laura ended up with Jeremy and then it was just, like, another pattern, like, so I just think that they need to do better in that way and stuff. But I think people do want to find love, but I think they're like, fame love, if that makes sense.
Right. So just to touch on what you said, you don't like Laura with Jeremy and it's a pattern. When you say pattern, what are you kind of like referring to on that?
Like if he was to do what he did with his ex-fiance to her.
Okay. So, like, Jeremy's main problem that we see is that he's with girls, doesn't actually tell them that he's done, but then goes and acts like he's done without even telling them, and it causes mess. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. And, the fact that him and Sarah Ann, I feel like to me that they were literally trying to still stay together to try to save face.
I mean, at the reunion, everybody, like, at the reunion, it was literally, like, body language. Like, she's making sure she's touching him. She's talking about how, like, I did what I needed to do, and, like, I found the one I wanted to be with, and, like, the love of my life. And he's not looking at her, and his face is just kind of, like...
Yeah.
And, it, like, to me, it was, like, internally, it was, like, when is this hoe gonna stop talking? That's what I got from that. What it was kind of like. And then, like... And, like, whenever she's saying stuff, and then she would be, like, looking at him, and he'd be like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it was just, like, okay, it's better for them to be together, for them to have caused that mess, than if they were to have broken up and everyone to be like, look, so you did it for no reason.
Yeah.
But, I mean, let someone show you who someone really is at the same time,
facts. And who was it that called them out? Was it Jessica who called them out and said that you said the last time we saw you out that you guys weren't together?
Chelsea said that you guys break up every time I see you or something like that.
Chelsea. There you go. There you go. And let's just say so. Sarah Ann don't get invited to the cookout. She not in the group chat. No, she ain't in the group chat. Which is good. I like that they're all friends and they're close and they have like their group chat. To be honest, I'm not gonna lie to you. Jessica really, really like made me like her that much more throughout this whole entire reunion, and just the way how she came off very like classy and all that stuff. I really did like her a lot. I really wish in this reunion we got a little bit more Brittany, because, you know, I love my girl. Brittany's my favorite.
Yeah, it was like they had a clause for them to not talk. I didn't really hear them talk at all. Right. And I don't know, it's really weird that they didn't even really go into their breakup much, and they were the first couple to break up.
This is what I'm saying.
And it seemed like they were the ones that had the most going for them. Of staying together.
Right.
So
Johnny
it was,
and Amy.
Yeah. So it was kind of like, why wouldn't you guys talk to them about it? Okay. And then whatever, we find out that they're just friends, and like were they like best friends.
Yeah, which is,
and I don't know, I don't even want to like talk about them, honestly. A lot of people don't even want to like talk about, because it was kind of like I feel like they made the audience looks stupid, if that makes sense. Like, because people are here, they want to watch you fall in love, and like obviously it's a reality TV show, like in a way that there's gonna be drama and that's what people want, but at the same time, like, you're watching Love is Blind, it's like, ooh, I want to see them fall in love and like
like how it was before.
And like build a relationship, and you know what I mean. It felt more reality TV than it did feel like a docu-series.
Correct.
And this season, and it was like, y'all, like a bunch of y'all played us, and literally played us. Like Jeremy literally played, you know, people. Trevor literally played people, you know what I mean? Clay literally played somebody. So like, I don't like any of it. And I think I'm adding Clay to that, because Clay from the beginning was like, I don't want to cheat on you. That's all I've seen is like men cheat, blah, blah, blah. And you're on a show about getting married. So if you aren't ready for that, why did it take this? Why did you apply knowing you're not ready? Yeah. And you think that if you have those thoughts, then you should have started therapy right then and there. Yeah. Not you going on the show and then realizing it later and like making someone spend money on X, Y, Z and doing all that. Because I'd be like, run my money back.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like, they definitely have people on the show that just went on the show just to be like, they like, oh, we'll try something different, I guess. Like, yeah, it was just like, just
they're like, oh, let's try something different for dating, but it's like, it's not a dating show, like, it's a marrying show, like, so yeah, I just feel like a bunch of them played y'all, and it's like, and a lot of people, I think, or at least men, are like, I want a wife, but I don't want to be a husband, and like, that's what a lot of these men are missing, is like, they all want a wife, of course, like, they don't ever say, I want to be a husband, though, and it shows.
That makes sense. You know what? Caption that. Bottle that up. Caption it. Copyright it. All that. Because that's 100% what happened. And what keeps on happening. Like, we saw it in season 3, Bartise. What was the point? You were never, like...
What was the point?
What was the point?
So stupid.
And even in this season, even worse than what it's been. So let's hope that now that Chelsea is going to be like helping with the cast, let's hope we get some better people. We can
Chelsea, not Chelsea that was in this season. Chelsea with Kwame.
Season 4,
she is now working for Love is Blind, which I think is amazing. And she will be helping with like casting and such. And maybe they needed to add her because maybe she can sense the bullshit. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Hopefully she will though. Because I have a feeling that if next season is anywhere remotely close with getting like these morons, no, I'm joking, but getting these types of casts, then they're going after her. So.
Yeah, they will.
But the show, I think, will be done if like this becomes the new Love is Blind. I don't think that it's going to continue because
unfortunately,
I think a lot of people at the end of the day watched it and like, yeah, the ratings maybe was high, but I think a lot of people at the end were still like unsatisfied, felt like, at least for me, felt like they got played, felt like this was such a waste of a season, you know what I mean? So
yeah, for sure. I think we're running on season 5 and 6 now, where we are literally getting one couple getting married, which isn't bad because it's like you're still getting someone getting married, so it's like, okay, it's better than what's in the rumor, but like we're going from getting at least 2 people getting married every season to now the last 2 we're at 1.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't blame the people that are there for, like, AD. Okay, AD is controversial again now, too.
Oh, yeah, with all
whatever.
Those rumors,
but, I genuinely believe that she wanted to have 100%. A husband. Chelsea genuinely believe she wanted to have a husband. Some people do need to, like, actually, like, look internally and, like, get help first. Yeah. Chelsea. But, in AD's case, whatever, she genuinely wanted to, like, you know what I mean, do all of that. And then you, unfortunately, are meeting a guy, and you're thinking that they're ready because they signed up for this. It wasn't involuntarily, like, you signed up for it yourself. Like, you signed these papers. Yep. You did the strenuous casting. Yeah. What you guys have to do to get on the show. Yeah. Interviews. So you did the strenuous interviews, and I'm not going to ask you, are you ready to be married? Because you are telling me that by being here.
That's right. Yeah. It's just... Well, let's hope for the sake of Lib, we're gonna power through.
Yeah, because Lib was like a really, really good show, but it's really like if this thing becomes like how was this season, I don't think I'm gonna be watching.
Yeah, so. No, I agree.
They have one more season until I'm out.
Yeah, but I think also too because Lib has come to a point now where they're basically doing 3 seasons a year, right? Maybe cut this down and we can do 1. Like if it's really good, we can do 1. We don't need to do like. You know what I'm trying to say? And just kind of put people through the filter and whatever not. We can just wait a little bit and find the right people and go, right? So, and you know, I love the statement. Like, I mean, I'm not going to lie. The way how Nick kind of came for Trevor, which I know that the production had to have told him to be like, to tell people cut the crap and just send a message to everyone that's applying. But I do feel bad for Trevor and how they went in on him and he couldn't answer these questions. So, but
really?
I looked kind of bad for him on.
He had to, like if
they but did you not, actually had to, but I'm like, I felt bad for him.
I didn't feel bad at all. I honestly would have went harder. And, like, when he's like, can I walk off? And I'm like, in a minute. And, like,
in a minute.
Like, talking.
Well, no, they made an example out of him. And I'm happy that they did that because, yeah, there's just too much nonsense going on.
I don't know. I also feel like, though, like, if this was to happen again, I do think that they need to cut the person out. Like, because you know how in, like, the first season it was, like, someone actually like made it but they didn't make it to the altar but they weren't shown.
Yes.
And they just cut them because whatever reason why production chooses to cut people's story even though they make it or whatever the case is. I think that they need to like cut this shit because I don't want to see it. I don't want to see someone, I mean, they granted maybe they didn't know about like Trevor's, you know, case, whatever. But for Jeremy's, on the other hand, like Jeremy's was like stone cold public. Like if they did the times and tracking it, they're like, what? No, he was with her like 2 weeks ago. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I think they need to like cut the people's story if it's not gonna go anywhere. Like I love to see Brittany and Kenneth, but I was like so disappointed and so like what the F that I would have rather they just cut that because they didn't even make it
to. Oh, so you'd have preferred them to not show the season and just stop showing them altogether and just write like a message saying, "Oh, Brittany."
No, like I never saw their story. I'm saying.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, like I'm saying, I would have rather I just never saw their story. Or if they were gonna end in something that was so unanswered, because I still don't feel like we got the full answer.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, so if they're gonna end in something so full unanswered, I feel like they should have just ended it before, like, on the vacation whenever they were quiet, and then he didn't start talking until the dolphins.
No, I know what you're talking about.
And
yes,
and then it was like, you just see them, like, it literally is, like, cut to, them just saying, like, okay, I gotta pack my bags, and we're just, you know what I mean? We're just, like, instead of having 20 questions, we just have 30. I'd rather that than, because what's the point? You guys didn't answer it anyway.
No, for sure, no, and we got nothing answered there in that, and that's the one relationship I wanted the answer for, because everybody
100%.
Else's we saw why already. So.
Yeah,
unfortunate. But you know, let's hope next season will be like so much better. It was nice to see like all the other couples to show that Love Is Blind actually does work if you actually give it a try and actually do the experience properly. So, Lib, please get your shit together. And so we can go back and enjoy it the way that it is. So thanks guys for tuning in, and we have our next episode of I Watch You Watch. And what movie are you watching again?
Something.
Tune in to see you guys. Thanks again, guys. Key out.
Treasure out.